Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video I have a replay from a game I played in the weekend tournament last weekend. It is up against Nightcrawler. Now let's have a look at their packs here. If I want to play some aggro, then that speed spec pack doesn't look too bad, but I was trying to play a little bit more long range standard on this day. And so having a look at the packs here, it is honestly between either the aerial spec or the typhoon specialist. Now I really do like starting with arc lights in standard, and I think steel balls are honestly a good starter as well. Of course, they typically don't tend to scale that well in long range scenarios, but they have overall good matchups and they can kind of pressure the enemy in the early game. And that's especially the case when you're up against something like the Stormcallers here. And my opponent is a marksman specialist, so he will get access to that level 3 marksman next round. But for now, I would say that we are favored. We're going to go double crawler, try and distract these Stormcallers, and then hopefully we can kind of push in and get to those towers, get under the gun line of those Stormcallers. And what you'll see me do here, by the way, is stack on one side. Main reason for that is opponent here shouldn't have any pressure on my tower whatsoever. The only fast unit would be the crawler, and that should die to my arc light. So as we get rid of that, we should be able to just push in here and kind of grab that tower debuff and overwhelm the opponent. So that's why I'm doing this. I'm also not planning to keep the steel balls around, so this is kind of completely fine, and then we can go symmetrical later on if we want to. Not quite sure what I want to play yet though. We will have to see what the cards bring and kind of how this develops. Probably will need some marksmen or phoenixes though down the line. And let's see, Stormcaller positioning here, slightly different. Opponent actually does stack one side as well and guesses correctly. So we will be having to face 2 arc lights, but maybe that's not too bad because it means that we can move in and hopefully kill these big targets. Kind of get under that gun line, and then the left side shouldn't be too much. Arc light here fighting as well. We'll actually be able to get rid of that enemy arc light. And I'm hoping that we can clutch up. I'm not too sure though. We are under the gun line with those steel balls, but my arc light will die. And now it just comes down to tower debuff. Of course, if we go straight for these Stormcallers, we might be able to get into safety, but this tower debuff doesn't look good at all. We get slowed because the Stormcallers take the tower, and when those steel balls are slowed, they are very easy to hit. And so it doesn't matter that we grab the tower debuff because, yep, they will be able to win the first round. Now, the benefit is we do manage to grab a level on that steel ball, and that seems quite helpful. Opponent gets the marksman, which is able to one-shot level 1 steel balls, but wouldn't be able to one-shot level 2 steel balls, so maybe a level up here would be a good thing to go for. Improved firepower and haste module both are offered. The improved firepower could be nice if you want to play something like Mustang, but that is a bit of a like weird unit to play in standard and something I don't like doing too much. So instead here, I decided to go for a more tempo-oriented play and go for the Wasp drop. Opponent, though, respects it quite a lot, goes for triple Fang deploy, stacking the right side so that he can kill the Wasp if I put it right side, and then putting his own Wasp drop there on the left. I decided to go for double Fang as well, kind of just like screen that Wasp drop. Opponent ends up putting this in my backline. I'm happy I put a missile there. The reason I do that is because Fangs tend not to win if they're all by themselves. I could have maybe done without, but I didn't really trust it, right? If he put the Wasp here on the left, I would have eventually lost and lost my tower too. Wasps there, though, will win against that Fang pack and eventually turn their attention to the tower. Will it be enough? I'm not too sure, because there is a lot of Fangs to get through, and the steel balls are taking significant damage from that high-level marksman. Eventually, we do get the tower debuff. Arclight, though, stuck on the enemy Arclight, and it doesn't really look like we'll be able to win this. Arclight doing whatever it can will eventually get taken out. Wasps coming in, but would be surprised if we win this. Although I say that, the Fangs doing a pretty good job, and never mind, we do turn the tide and are immediately able to strike back immediately there on round 2. Even grabbing some levels on Arclight, that could be nice. And let's see, what do we want here? Incendiary Bomb is available. Shield Airdrop 2, though. Could be a decent pickup. Both of them. I could just take the Shield Airdrop and kind of take the economy route, since it's cheaper than Incendiary. And then try to shield wherever my opponent would put that fire. But we can also grab the Incendiary ourselves and try to get a trade going. And that will be the case. So we're just trying to get this onto that backline here. Kill those late Fangs. Hopefully kill the Stormcallers as well. And if the Marksman goes down, then that's even better. Opponent goes for the Incendiary too. I don't want to try and shield here. I feel like that's way too much of an investment. I need to get some stuff on the board. And we will just be buying some Crawlers here. One purchased. Arclight levels picked up as well. Range on the Arclights here could maybe be a decent pickup, but I am a bit afraid of air as well. Although I guess for now it wouldn't make too much sense for him to go for anything. Maybe a Wasp, but he's already got Marksman, so Phoenix would be a little bit odd. And instead we're going to go for more Arclights and set up here for an eventual Arclight range. And looking at this board, I was planning to go Arclight Worm, since my opponent wasn't running the Ignite on the Fangs. And even if he did, I mean, it would have been an okay thing to go for, but that definitely does make it more appealing. Fire there does great, burns those Marksmen, and allows us to get into that tower, and it looks like we should be winning here, with my leveled Arclights now kind of chewing through the enemy forces. Crawler's also now going to that left side, going to be able to grab that tower. And that's a lovely outcome for us. Chipping away at those hit points yet again. And my opponent really didn't start with much. 3,800. And after this round, that's going to go down to 3,100. Entering round 4. I get access to my Typhoon. We also get free unit drops. And that is going to be Sabertooth, Tarantula, Mustang, or Hound. Very interesting options. Now, Sabertooth is good into Tarantula, but it's not good at all into, like, Marksman, these long-range scenarios, and the Stormcaller. There was extended range Sabertooth offered twice, I think, in the previous rounds, but I wasn't really planning to play that. Maybe if I had the card, I would have considered it, but without it, I think it's a little bit of suicide. And so really, I felt like Mustang here was the only pickable thing. I do get 3 of them, and they pair somewhat nicely with the Steel Balls, so I thought, well, let's maybe play some standard Steel Ball Stang then. I could always replace the Steel Balls with Worms down the line. But yeah, a little bit of an odd comp. Something that you would see years ago. I say years, like 1.5 years ago, standard Steel Ball Stang was playable. But yeah, kind of just going off of the unit drops here, ranging my Mustangs immediately, ranging the Arclights as well. That means our Chafker situation is immediately very good. My opponent goes for the Tarantulas, buys another one, stacks them, double shot on the Marksman to deal with the tankier units. And we use our Typhoon here on the flank with a Crawler and kind of bully those units. And look at that, and the entirety of the enemy forces getting pulled now because of those Typhoons. And hopefully they can take out some of the Crawlers. They won't be able to take out everything, but that doesn't look too bad. Oil being used as well, that does slow down the Steel Balls, sadly, but looks like they managed to get through relatively unscathed. And, well, there goes one Tarantula. Left side tower completely open. Ranged Mustangs able to take out that level 1 Spider with the help of the Arclights. Opponent also losing a missile there, which was meant for the Steel Balls, I imagine, but ends up going into, like, 1 Crawler or so. And now the Mustangs are just kind of feasting on the enemy Arclight, the Fangs, and that Marksman, that Loot Pinata. The Orange Man, still available, ready for the taking. And another great round here. The fact that we're winning despite kind of these spells, right, being used, bodes very well for the strength of our board. 2 Mustang levels available. Round number 5, Laser Sight here seems like an easy pickup for the Mustangs. Enhancement Module is a very good item, but there's nothing here really that I want to sell out of. Maybe if I had double Steel Ball levels, I would try to pick it, but yeah, it doesn't really seem like something I would want to go for. Said it's gonna be, I think, the laser. Yeah, there we go. And now, I was a bit afraid my opponent would go like Incendiary Bomb Stormcaller and light this on fire. So my idea is let's pressure the left side and go for a mobile beacon into that other tower. It's also the weak tower, right? It doesn't have that many tarantulas. And so we should be able to get over there. Opponent buying 2 more tarantulas, going for range on those units as well. Using it to kind of tank here on the top side, although these Typhoons will be shooting at the crawlers first. I doubt that we'll be able to kill the Spider. It is very tanky, and Typhoon level 1 doesn't deal massive amounts of DPS, but if we can keep it there, that doesn't sound too bad to me. And here, I actually decide to go for more Steel Balls, because I felt like they were doing really well, and they're not that bad into Tarantulas. If I go for something like Absorption and Range, we may just be able to out-tempo our opponents here, because 2.3k hit points, that's not that much. And yeah, look at that, Steel Ball's getting in. Those packs still alive. We're going to get debuff, and that bodes well for these Mustang. Now get some uptime against these Spiders. This is level 2, so still quite tanky, but have a look at the Crawlers somehow getting in there. Adding to the DPS. Spider, a little bit distracted, will eventually turn its attention back to my Mustang, which it will take out. But left side still has to arrive, and I think that with all these units, we should be able to grab another round. Looks really good. Mustangs here leveling yet again. Level 3 Mustang gonna be available, and almost 1,000 damage there, as the opponent now is down to 1,400. Round number 6, Orbital shows up. That is always something that you have to be a little bit afraid of, and yeah, Nightcrawler picks it up. Good spell for him, because I'm the one pushing into him, so it's kind of hard for me to shield adequately here. He could have put it slightly onto his side of the board as well. I guess it could shield kind of up front, but my units definitely are more vulnerable than his, right? The Tarantulas don't really care about that Orbital as much. Whereas my low-level Steel Balls and my Mustangs especially won't like getting hit by these. Mustang levels, of course, got to pick those up. Arclight levels, not bad either. I could try and scale these. Perhaps go for something like EMP down the line. That's a pretty good thing to click against the Tarantulas. And we're now going to stack here on the left side. So I'm going to keep the Typhoons around. I could sell them, but they're currently still killing that Crawler pack, which doesn't seem too bad. And the opponent now going for even more Spiders and clicking the Spider Mines on them. Now, Spider Mines are quite good into Steel Ball. They're not the best, though, into Mustang, but if you have this many, and especially if you do manage to scale them, then they can get so tanky that even Mustangs can't deal with them adequately. We'll have to see how this goes. Double shield here for me in the middle, and then a beacon here towards the outside with my highest level Mustang. And then hope that this doesn't get hit. Okay, it looks like we are safe. Level 3 arc lights. Look at that damage. Actually able to one-shot the level 1 Spider Mines. Mustangs now getting outside of the shield. They could get hit, but they won't. Low-level Steel Balls have gone down. High-level Mustangs here on the left with those low-level Steel Balls in front. How much can the Mustangs do? The middle has been broken open, so that's very nice. Maybe we can even grab a debuff. We should definitely be able to. Mustangs winning hard. Both of the towers have been leveled. Left side Mustangs still fighting for their life, but will eventually go down to the Tarantulas. And these guys are worth quite a bit of experience. So ideally, I would keep these guys from leveling. Looks like we might be able to do so. Oh, no, never mind. Okay, this one will grab the level. Obviously, those mines will be scaling with levels. But hey, look, down to 445 hit points. And that doesn't look too bad. Now here, this unit drop is quite crucial, because my opponent suddenly gets some really good answers into my board. And I'm very afraid of the Phantom Ray here, because Phantom Ray has access to armor, and my only anti-air currently is Stangs. And I can't deal with level 3 Phantom Ray armor. That's 180 blocked per Phantom Ray, and he might buy more, right? Potentially here, he could be buying 3 more Phantom Rays for a total of 5, and start mounting a comeback, because I thought that his comp was better scaling than mine. Tarantulas could still go high explosive. The mines will also scale with levels. That seemed very, very scary. And there's no answer in the unit drops against this. So I wasn't too sure what to do. Raiden doesn't one-shot it. Raiden seems really bad into Tarantula, into the Spider Mines, into the Marksman, so that's not what I wanted to go for. And I'm thinking, okay, there's like two things that I can see working, which is either go Wasp with range AA or go Abyss. I end up not going Abyss here because of the Spider Mines. I thought that the Spider Mines would distract the Abyss too much, and that's why I wanted to go Wasp. And I was really like banking on the fact that he would take the Phantom Ray. As you will have seen though, he doesn't go for that. He goes for the other option, which is also a good one, which is Scorpion. And Scorpion deals very well with the steel balls. Now, fire is back available. I am trying here to block the fire in the back as much as I can. We get a flank on the right side, which will pull some of our units and actually burn a couple of our Stangs. I say a couple, just a full pack. And yeah, I went for triple blue Wasp range AA, which looks a bit silly because my opponent doesn't have any AA. Now, that being said, my opponent doesn't have a lot of anti-air to begin with, and I only need to deal 445 damage. So maybe, just maybe here, we could get ahead. Or get ahead, we could just close out the game. Because the Wasps look like they are doing pretty well. Obviously, there is a lot of hit points on the board all of a sudden, with 4 or 5 Scorpions being added, but we just need 445. That's all we need. Right side starting to dwindle a little bit. Marksman somehow managing to get through all of these Wasps. Arclights DPSing as much as they can. And we will get a Tara debuff. And so this will mean that we have... Does this Arclight live? It does. 1 Arclight, 2 Arclights, a couple of Wasp, and half a pack of Mustangs? 300 damage, maybe, but yeah, that's not going to be enough. 24 hit points remaining. Uh-oh, and now I thought, oh no. Oh, that is not good. Nuke being offered after that unit drop, which caused me such a headache. And yeah, the problem here is that I am pushing into my opponent. So it is not very easy for me, again, to like shield everywhere, since I will be on his side of the board likely when that nuke drops. Still, I feel like I probably do need to pick this, just for the off chance that he doesn't shield, or like some of his units do get out. Again, I only need 24 hit points, so we don't need a massive win here. Oil back off cooldown as well for my opponent. We do go for the nuke in the middle. I put it over there because I was hoping that these units would be able to kind of get in and perhaps grab the, or take down the shields before the nuke would land. Opponent goes for AA on the spiders, which is decent against the Wasp. And I decide to go for Mech Div on the steel balls because my opponent didn't go high explosive on the Tarantulas yet, and Mech Div is kind of decent against the Scorpions as well. Even if they lock onto the steel ball pack, they won't be able to one-shot all 4. And then after they shoot, crawlers come out, and that should distract the Scorpions from immediately hitting the other steel balls on the board. We are loaning here, of course. Temp range has been clicked. I should probably put a shield up here, if I'm being completely honest. And I do decide to go for loose formation as well. Again, my opponent doesn't have high explosive on their Tarantulas. And that should mean that it's much, much harder for him to clear my crawlers. But yeah, definitely should have shielded left side because I lose all of my Mustangs and I lose my Wasps as well, which of course I couldn't protect. And now I've got a bunch of mines and crawlers moving into the left side, and this is not looking good whatsoever. This is kind of what I was afraid of with that scaling. Suddenly there's just so many ground units. You've got the Tarantulas, the Scorpions, you've got the spawned mines. And it's just a little bit too much here for my army to deal with. And so with that nuke, I mean, right side wasn't winning either way, but left side just getting completely obliterated on the turn. And suddenly we take a boatload of damage and we're down to 1700. Not exactly what we were hoping for. Round number 9, electromagnetic impact shows up, which is probably worth a pickup. Missile strike also fine, but I think EMP here is better. Just try to hit some of the shields. Maybe we can hit some of the spiders again if the opponent is a little bit sloppy and doesn't go for the shields. And so now I think, okay, well, what do I do? And I decided to go for Hacker. This was a play that was also in my mind when I went for the early Mustangs. I thought playing Mustang Hacker into this board should be good too, but I ended up going for Steel Balls and it was working fine, but then I had to deal with the unit drop and I kind of forgot about Hacker because, well, Hacker wouldn't have dealt with the Phantoms if my opponent picked those up. So now we tried to go Hacker pivot, triple Hacker, blue Hackers with range. And trying to stack them in the middle to try and take over some of the mines, take over the spiders, the scorpions. There are a lot of units here on the board that are very, very good to take over. Opponent does end up going for that incendiary bomb. We'll be setting the ground on fire on the right side. We do bubble. We sell a wasp here since it's not the most useful and my opponent does have AA tarantulas. But yeah, fire here, that's going to be a bit painful because I think loose formation still hasn't really been answered by them, but fire will just remove any chaff I have on the right side for this turn. And yet that does hurt. Mustang's also moving forward into the fire. Will we be able to take over some stuff? You can see that some of the mines here are getting taken over. Will the hackers be able to finally lock onto the spiders? They will. One of them now getting hacked. Will get taken over. Second one, perhaps, ready to be taken over too. That will work. Hacker here locked onto the blue spider on the right side. But oh, the left, not looking great. The fire at the feet of the hackers will take them down. Scorpion has been taken over, but will immediately die to those high-level marksmen. And it just looks like it's a little bit too late here with the hackers. Not looking terrible, but the pivot is too late, and we do go down. So yeah, that was the end of my tournament run, sadly. Very, very close game, 24 hit points. I'm not gonna lie, I was very, very annoyed at this game because of that drop. Felt like I got kind of done dirty on this one because two of the things that were offered were great, but both of them, in my mind, needed two different answers, or at least didn't have many answers. I needed something that would be able to play around the Phantom Ray, and I had two ideas, right? The first one was go Wasp, which is what I went for. Sadly, didn't work. I still think it was a fine play, but yeah, we weren't able to close it out. The second one was Abyss, and I kind of want to try that one here as an alternative, because Abyss is good into both Scorpion and Phantom Ray, and yeah, should be able to hopefully deal with either of these, right? Because I do want to play around the fact that both of them could have shown up. So let's pick the thing that's the highest sell value on this given turn. We do have fire available, so let's maybe use that on the right side. And then let's try and perhaps kind of go on this left side here. So we've got the fire. Maybe we put it even a little bit further up, and we're trying to pull that in, right? So we're going to create a weak side where all of the chaff will hopefully burn, and we can stall for long enough, and then we're going to create a strong side where we're going to move these guys over here. Now, I need to put a shield. I need to recruit this Abyss probably at level 2. Let's put it somewhere over here. Let's loan. Let's go for the missile, since that's the best tech. And then let's maybe put... Do we need 2 more shields? I think we should just play as if we are respecting the fire, right? Like, I can't have this Mustang pack die, so putting these shields up here seems like a sensible move. And then we could just go for defense enhancement. That might not be a bad thing. Could also go for temp range. Let's see. Either way, my opponents had like 400 hit points left, so if we manage to keep the Abyss alive, we should just win. So we do dodge part of the fire there. Missile first salvo, not gonna be great, but it does look like we actually do take down a fair bit of those mines. Now, I was afraid that the Abyss would just get stuck too much, and we'll have to see if that's the case. Missiles landing pretty well. Mustang's able to deal damage. Oh, okay, that sweep, really, really good. And right side, not doing too poorly either. That fire kind of blocking all of the small stuff from getting in. And Abyss, honestly, still on full health. I think that we have a winning play here with the Abyss able to survive. I don't think it'll be able to go down. Way too many hit points. Mustang's still alive as well. And yeah, no, that should just be it. Missiles will take down the remaining units. And so this was the play that I should have gone for with my opponent on low health. I was a little bit too scared of going for it. I really thought that if I went for it in the long run, it wouldn't work out. But honestly, I think that this would be better than going for that Wasp play that I did. Even the Wasps, honestly, I didn't need to go AA on them. If anything, just range would have been enough against a Phantom play. But yeah, this was what I should have gone for. Nightcrawler really played very well after that unit drop. And yeah, went for that nuke and closed it out quickly with just an overwhelming ground force. But that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Anyway, if you liked this video, leave a thumbs up. Let me know down below what you thought of this comp. The Mustang Steel Ball standard game. Do you still remember that, or are you a new player? Let me know. If you want to stay up to date on latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. With that being said, take care, guys, and see you next video. Bye-bye.